Eamon Khan here for Seconds Out in Birmingham with Raza Hamza at the McCracken Gym. Good to see you, Raza. Been a while. Looking forward to seeing you back in action. How's life treating you?
Good, very good actually. Yeah, can't complain. Good as always.
McCracken's Gym. It's a new step for you. Talking about linking up with Spencer McCracken Jr. and the regime he's probably got you under. I just walked into the gym and I've seen you already in the ice bath, something that I'm not accustomed to, but someone of your stature, I'm sure, has had a few of them. But talking about the move to the McCracken Gym.
How the move come across? I'm good friends with D2. You probably know D2. And after my last fight, I never done much training, but then around January, February, got in touch with D2. Started doing a bit of work here. I was always welcome, even though it was Spencer's gym. D2 invited me down, started training, and he introduced me to Spencer Jr. And after that, that's it. We started training together, and we just clicked. I can't explain how good it's going at the moment. I've got Spencer Jr. himself. I've got his dad, who also helps out a lot. But obviously, my main trainer is young Spencer. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to our journey, and I see what happens in the next chapter in my career.
How long have you been here for? And when you say it's just clicked, like, what is it? Is it the personality matches, the training matches as to what you want? What is it that's clicked so well for you in the early stages?
The training's very good. The training's good, but there's an old saying with boxing: "And happy fighter is a dangerous fighter." And he understands me. I understand him. I understand what he wants me to do. He understands. I just get it done. Since I've been here, I'm saying, let's fight this, let's do this, but he's telling me no. He's taking care of me. He's treating me. He don't treat me like just a boxer. He treats me like a friend. He treats me like a family member. And there's not many people in boxing who have the best of interest for you. And this man, he's got the best of interest for me. He, the fights he's telling me to have, because he wants to take care of me. And he's given me a plan. And listen, it's my job to go and get the plan done, if you know what I mean.
So it's not just a case of, boxer, trainer, or boxer and coach. This is boxer and someone who's given you some guidance as to the right fights to take, the right moves to make at the right time.
Absolutely. This boxing game is very versatile. 1 minute you're up there, second minute you're down here. And it's very hard to find real people in boxing. But people who actually care about you, people who actually want good for you, will guide you in the right direction. And obviously, coming off my last loss, which it was a freak incident, the way it happened. Nobody expected that to happen the way it did. I was in a dark place. I could have easily come here. You could have easily said to me, right, let's fight this person. And me being a fighter, I'd say, yeah, okay. Or he could have said, we're sparring this person. But he's turned around and said, look, this is where you're at. This is where your confidence is at. This is where we got to get you back at. This is where you're going to perform your best at. This is where your confidence is going to build. And only people who care about you will say stuff like that to you.
Glad you mentioned the last fight. Like you said, it was a very surprising ending to the fight, especially the way that it was building. That was going to be billed as a much closer fight than it turned out to be. Just your reflections on that fight and where you feel it all kind of went wrong.
Absolutely, that fight. If you looked at that fight before it was made, I was favourite in the bookies. It was a 50-50 fight. Listen, going in, it was a 50-50 fight. I did everything right. I trained hard. But I'm a big lad. I'm 5'11". I walk around at 11 stone. I mean, I don't make excuses, but it was a freak incident. It happened. I got caught and I got put down and I didn't recover. Maybe because it was the weight. Who knows? But yeah, your man caught me. He beat me, and best of luck to him in his career. I have no excuses about that fight besides he just caught me early on, and good night. I never recovered.
What of the weight then? Will you be looking to continue at feather, or is it, like you mentioned, you're a big lad, you're looking to maybe campaign at the higher weights?
I'll never box at feather again.
Right.
Whether I fight a super featherweight, whether I fight a lightweight, whether I fight a super lightweight, I don't know. We have a fight, which you probably know about. Sorry, I've mentioned it before you mentioned it. August the 24th, where What we're doing is we're going into the ring, but we've got a day before weigh-in. Not many fighters have a day before weigh-in on a small oil show, but this is to see what I rehydrate to at this weight I'm campaigning at for now. So we've got a fight at a certain weight. We're gonna see how I react, how my body reacts once I make the weight, then how I go and perform. It's one thing making a weight, and one thing performing at a weight. If you know boxing. So for now, I think maybe lightweight, or maybe super featherweight, or maybe super lightweight. I'm just telling you, if you're a lightweight, you should worry about me. If you're a super featherweight, you should worry, because people who know boxing know me at the right weight. I'm a problem, but featherweight was just a bit too much. I could make the weight. I could probably still make the weight, but can I perform at the weight? Can my body hold on to the food and the fluid after I make the weight? And that's a big thing. You can have the best camp. You can look $1 million in the gym. But if you're not fighting at the right weight, you're not going to perform to your best of abilities.
You come across kind of really understanding of the position that you're in and the next steps that you're going to take and the options that are available to you because of the weights that you could potentially fight at. I just wonder internally about the confidence and where your confidence is at off the back of the way the last fight went as a fighter. Did that take some time to get over, to maybe shake off some of the, maybe if it put any lack of belief in you or anything like that? Or did you not have that kind of feeling after that fight? Where is your confidence at as a fighter?
Absolutely. After I lost, listen, I didn't know if I wanted to box anymore. I was 30 years old. It's been a year now. I was 30 years old. I was in a dark place because I was expected to do big things. If you know boxing, you know I was expected to do big things. And my confidence is still low. I'm not going to lie. I'm not want to sugarcoat bullshit. My confidence is not as low as it was, but it's still low because it's the way the fight ended. If I took a beating for 10 rounds and got stopped in the 11th, or got beat on points, or got stopped late on after putting up a good fight, my confidence wouldn't be as low. But it's the way I got caught. It's the mistake I made, that fine margin mistake I made, and I wasn't in a good place, for a long time. But like I said, boxing is, for me, boxing isn't anything different to what I've been through in my life. What I've been through in my life, I had to pick myself back up. Do you know what I mean? I had to pick myself back up, and my confidence was rock bottom. But slowly, it's coming back, and we'll see what I've got to offer at this weight now, and you'll see if I can perform at this weight, which I'm sure I will. I mean, Spencer will tell you the way I'm performing in the gym, the way I'm punching in the gym, the way I'm working in the gym. At the moment, it's going really well. But once again, my next fight, you'll see what my confidence is like and where I'm at.
Feel you have something to prove?
Absolutely. In boxing, there's a lot of bullshitters. There's a lot of people in boxing who have never had a fight but seem to know everything about boxing. I call them the bees who are around all the shit, and then when the shit goes, the bees go. That's boxing fair. But listen, you've always got a point to prove. Not to anybody else, but to yourself. I'm a man who's boxed for 19 years. I boxed from the age of 12. It's all I know. So for me, I have a big point to prove to myself. My coach, he probably has a point to prove to people from where he's picked me up from, because he's picked up a fighter who just got knocked out. So, being a coach, you've got a lot to prove too. So I think there's a lot of pressure on me, but I think diamonds, shine under pressure.
Talking about targets then, look, you'll have this fight August 24th, you'll get that one out of the way, and then I'm sure your eyes will turn to certain fighters and certain fights that you want. Have you got an opponent in mind? Have you got a goal in mind as to who you want to target for a big fight return?
It's a tricky one because my next fight means a lot to me. You can do all the training in the world, but if you know boxing, when you enter the ring, you want to be there. You want to be there. You have to want it. You want to be hungry. I want to feel like what it's going to be like for me when I'm in that ring after that loss. But I know when I get in there, I'm going to be full of confidence. I'm going to win. Then after that, anyone who's got something meaningful, I'm not one to call names, but anyone who's got something good, I mean, you've got Bellotti, who's got the British title. He's probably got one more defense, and then at super featherweight, that becomes vacant. Will my trainer want me to fight for a British, or will my trainer and manager want me to go another route? Let's go and pick up some international titles and go down the world ranking. Who knows? Because the British, you've just fought for a British, so you can go down that route. If an opportunity occurs if an opportunity presents itself where I get a good win, and then again in September I beat somebody with a bit of a decent record, then I put myself in a good position, don't I? And then if something comes along at super featherweight, maybe lightweight, I'll take it.
Let's talk about Bellotti just because you mentioned him. Imagine he, in a similar sort of way, was kind of written off and seen as someone who wouldn't maybe achieve some of his goals in the professional game. He's since bounced back from that, and he's on these successes, wins that he's managed to rack up. What do you think of him as a fighter? What's your scout report on him with your eye potentially on him in the future?
I've known Reece Bellotti from 2010 when he was winning the ABAs, when he was a standout amateur. He beat me in the amateurs. I was a 51 kg lad and he was a 57 kg lad, and they couldn't get an opponent and I couldn't get a fight. So they rang my coach a week before and we fought, and he beat me on his show. For me, look, I give him so much credit because he's been around the sport for so long. He took loss after loss, and then he come back and he won a British title, and now he's defended it. A man who does that deserves a lot of credit. Where he's at his career, I don't know what's next for him. Maybe after he wins it outright, he'll move on. Maybe he won't win it outright, but I think he's a very good fighter. He's very strong, and he's very experienced. He's strong because I felt his power, and he's very experienced. And experience is a big thing in boxing. You've got all the young guns coming up, but then you've got these older boys who are in the early 30s, but they're very experienced. And I rate him. I rate him highly. I think he's a good fighter. Good fighter.
So I'll come back to you in your career in a moment. I just want to get your thoughts on a couple of things in the wider boxing sphere. Just your thoughts on a couple of big fights that are looming. First of all, you've got Joshua taking on Daniel Dubois at Wembley. Big fight where Joshua finds himself the challenger, the veteran, challenger to Daniel Dubois' IBF crown. Who are you picking in that one?
Joshua knocks him out in 2 or 3 rounds. He's very explosive. With his new team, he's full of confidence. He was another fighter who was, he was down, and he's gone to a very good coach. He's built his confidence, and right now he's at the top, isn't he? With his confidence, and I think Daniel Dubois is very easy to hit. So I think Joshua takes him out. But saying that, Dubois can punch as well. But if Dubois gets hit like he did in his last fight by this man, I don't think he'll be going the distance, or I don't think he'll be going long.
You see that interaction on the face-off where Dubois was like, "Look, we'll go now." It seemed like a bit of an offhand remark or comment, but AJ took that as a bit of disrespect and was willing to kind of meet him toe-to-toe. They had to be separated. What did you think of that moment?
It's fighter talk, isn't it? I mean, Dubois is there to fight. Dubois not going to show him no respect, so he shouldn't show him no respect. But I think Joshua just thinks, I deserve the respect. Nobody can disrespect him. He's done that when he fought Daniel Brazil or whatever his name was. He's done it a few times. He don't like it when someone stands up to him, but I mean, the way he's been performing, I think it takes him out.
You mentioned AJ was a really good coach in the form of Ben Davison. You ever done any work with Ben Davison, sparring with some of his fighters at all? And what do you think of Ben as a coach?
No, never. But from what I see, what he's done with Lee Wood and other fighters, fair play to him. So best of luck to him.
Another fighter who's being counted out off the back of the loss to Oleksandr Usyk in the undisputed heavyweight fight is Tyson Fury, of course, pictured as well too in those leaked videos of having a bit of a blowout, and a lot of people were concerned about his status considering some of the context of his past. But do you feel Fury can change a few things to get the victory over Usyk the second time round?
You want my honest opinion?
I do.
Usyk beats him easier. Usyk's one of them fighters who gets better and better the more he fights you, and the more the rounds go on. He just closes the distance so well. I mean, I don't know, but I think Usyk beats him on points again. Maybe stops him. I don't know. But I think Usyk.
Right, so we'll bring this back to yourself. You get this August date, 24th, at the way. How many more fights are you looking to lock in before the end of the year?
3. I'll be fighting 3 times before the end of the year. I'll fight August the 24th. God willing, inshallah, I win that. I come through that. And then September, I've asked to get out again in a bit of a tougher fight. You know, get somebody who's a bit more game, or whatever you want to call it, for an 8-rounder or something. So then the inactivity I have lost in the last 7, 8, 9, 10 months, it catches up with these 2 fights. You fight August, you fight September, and then hopefully the phone rings before the end of the year, and listen, I'll jump in for an opportunity.
You mentioned about your age. At the lower weights, the age seems to catch up you a little bit quicker than it does at the higher weights. Do you feel a sense of urgency to really kind of kick on with those? I was quite surprised you saying there 3 fights before the end of the year, because that's really quite active for boxers these days. But is that part of it, a little bit of sense of urgency too?
Yes and no. I mean, I've been doing it since I was 12. You speak to a lot of boxers, they can't string a sentence together. They're punchy. But listen, I'm 31. I'm not getting no younger. Let's be serious. It's now or never, isn't it? I mean, you have to win. No matter what, you have to win. And you need to just run with it. And if, you know, every time you win, another step up, and take it from there. But I think I've got a fair few good years because I live right. I don't drink. I've never took a drug. I live a clean life. So I'll keep fighting until I can fight, basically. Until I love it. I'm loving boxing again. After I'm gonna tell you something, you know, just before that loss, I wasn't in love with boxing. I was telling myself, like, do I want to go and train? I was tired and my weight's coming down. It's hard, do you know what I mean? But now I'm actually in love with boxing. Like, I'm enjoying myself. I'm happy. I've not got stress going on or anything. I've been away from home. I'm at home. I'm happy. So until I keep loving boxing and enjoying fighting, I'll carry on. But sometimes, if anything does bad happen in training or anything, these are the people who will then say to you, look, maybe it's not time for you to carry on. So you just take each day as it comes with boxing. You don't know what's going to happen. Tomorrow you might be done. It might be 3 years later. It might be 5 years later. Like I said, this sport is very versatile and anything can happen at any time.
I'm glad you found that love again, and you're fostering that here to success towards the end of the year and in your upcoming fight, August 24th. I'll leave the final word with yourself for people who are counting you out for potential future opponents who you're targeting at different weights. What would you like to say to them?
Fuck them all, mate. Nice one. Thank you.
Cheers, Raza.